All right, it's about that time. Let's talk about this Houston Texans team that takes care of business against the Cleveland Browns and advances in the NFL playoffs. A fantastic performance by the Texans all around: offense, defense, special teams, training staff, support staff, the people that wrap the ankles, the people that pick up the trash on the sideline. Anybody and everybody with a fantastic performance as the Texans prevail 45-14 over the Cleveland Browns in what is one of the most lopsided and impressive victories that the Texans have ever been a part of. So much to get to from this game, from this matchup. Your comments are appreciated and welcomed here on the live. Super chats go to the top of the line. You got a question, a comment, a joy, a concern, whatever. We're going to talk about it here on the live stream. This is going to go as long as you guys want it to go. If you want the short version, the quick down and dirty, the 4 big takeaways is on the YouTube channel as well. Go check those out as well. Brought to you by my friends at J Bar M. Woo! What a performance. I gotta fan myself. I feel like Blanche Devereaux in the Golden Girls when she sees an attractive man. I got to fan myself. That is a performance. Golly. The Texans, from CJ Stroud to Nico Collins to the role players to the defense, everything was on point in this game. Let's start with CJ Stroud. Just a incredible run that he is on as a rookie quarterback. We should believe everything. Nothing he does anymore is unbelievable. Unbelievable is not the way we should talk or discuss CJ Stroud anymore, because believe it. We watch it every week. Last week, it was game-winning drive, go 7 for 7, hit the crazy play to Nico Collins, hit the strike over the middle for the big play. Last week, it was that. This week, it was, Browns number 1 defense. There's Dalton Schultz, touchdown. There's Nico Collins, big play. Fake toss. Nope, not a toss. There's Nico Collins. I mean, CJ Stroud made this look easy. In a year where the Cleveland Browns defense has made so many damn quarterbacks look like idiots, look like they just don't have any chance or any clue out there, CJ Stroud made it look easy. And because they took their foot off the pedal and didn't keep the gas down, the stat line's impressive. It could have been even more impressive. 274 for 3. You'll take that every single week from CJ Stroud. But man, he could have put so much more on that Cleveland team. They were ready. Nico Collins was ready to go from the jump. I mean, you saw him go over the middle against Denzel Ward early on in the game, and this Texans team was fired up to get this thing going. And as Cleveland punched, they counterpunched. And CJ Stroud is probably one of the biggest elements of that counterpunch. He was so darn good. The biggest thing for me, the messy pockets, he handled them so well. He handled them incredibly well. He was making plays when there wasn't a lot of space, when he had to move, when there were guys around his feet. Man, he was making all sorts of plays, CJ Stroud was, including hitting Brevin Jordan within the confines of the play and having Jordan make the play, and just so many good things from CJ Stroud. And anytime the Texans walk into a football game and that other guy's not on CJ Stroud's level, I'm picking the Texans. If that other guy's not in the zip code that CJ Stroud is in as a quarterback, I'm picking the Texans. And it was the case last week when they mollywopped Indianapolis late. It's the case this week when they absolutely dominated Cleveland from basically the word go. If that other guy is not in CJ Stroud's zip code, I'm not picking that other team. Okay? CJ Stroud's going to give this organization, this team, a chance to win every single time he steps out there on the football field, with or without Noah Brown, with or without Robert Woods, with or without Tank Dell. John Mechie makes plays today. Xavier Hutchinson makes plays today. Brevin Jordan makes a play. Obviously, Nico Collins taking care of business, but with CJ Stroud, he's on the field, he's playing, and that other guy's not anywhere close like Flacco, I'm picking the Texans every time from here on out. That's CJ Stroud. So much to get to from this game. We'll go around the rest of this team. Let's talk about it. Devin weighs in. Stoots, what an all-around team win. That performance and Stroud's leadership. I see 3 more games in our future. Hey, Bobby Slowik said it this week. Bobby Slowik said 4 more games this week. He said 4 more games this week. Well, you know what? They got 3 more games now. 3 more games. Lake's in here. Matt Marr's in here. Mr. Heisenberg is in here. Manny's in here. Good to see you. Juan, let them know. Absolutely let them know. I think they let everybody in the AFC know the Texans are not going anywhere, and they're just getting started. They're just getting started. They haven't even spent all that money. They got draft picks next year. They're just getting started. I was there. Crazy game. H-Town was barking. Look, the crowd did a great job. For all the criticism that the crowd has gotten over the years for what the late arriving or not showing up or this or that, CJ Stroud, after the game, said that's the loudest he's ever heard a stadium. CJ Stroud has played in the Horseshoe, in the Big House, in Happy Valley, and he's played in the freaking Peach Bowl against Georgia. Those are 4 incredibly loud environments, and he said NRG Stadium was the loudest he's ever heard. I mean, the fans did a great job. The fans did a fantastic job. Abel, good to see you. Steven says, AFC South, AFC champions. You heard it here first. 3 more games. 2 more to be those. 2 more to be that. 3 more to win it. Win it all. Whew. Man. Good stuff. Good stuff. STX Texan, good to see you. Take that, Deshaun. Yeah. Matt Marr wants Baltimore. If the Steelers win, you get Kansas City, who just beat the Dolphins. If the Bills win, you get Baltimore. Those are the 2 scenarios. So Bills win, you play Baltimore. Steelers win, you play Mahomes and Kansas City. Both of those will be on the road. The Texans, unless Pittsburgh goes on a run, the Texans cannot host another playoff game. JC, I was at 2 home games this year. Both happened to be the Browns game, and both I stayed until the 4th quarter. Thank you, Texans. Well, you got rewarded for the second one, my friend. You got rewarded for a second one. Good to see you, Ken. Manny, good to see you. Let's celebrate. Crack them if you got them. If it's dry January and you're not cracking them, that's fine. That works too. Get you some water like me. A little agua. Jim, I'm feeling great. Yeah, Collins did trip. Nico did trip a little bit there on that long play. Thought he had another one. He had to find the football, and his footing didn't stick with him. Yeah, the MVP chants were you had CJ and the offense calming everybody down because they were getting loud. Cody, good to see you. David, good to see you. Man, what a performance, right? Good to see you. Alida, I hope that's right. Mr. Garza is what I'll call you. Abel, Milton, Mr. Heisenberg. No cap. I expected that from Stroud. What I didn't expect was the defense to play as stellar as they did. We'll talk about that in a moment. Nathan, I appreciate everybody. I can't get to everybody. Sean G, good to see you. I can't get to everybody, but thank you for joining the live. Let's talk some more about this Texans team. This defense was filthy. I mean, they were after Joe Flacco. Got him early on. Ravens, I keep saying the Ravens because it's Flacco. Browns got a little bit going there. They hit a big explosive play down the middle to David Njoku. That got him set up. And then they ultimately punched that sucker in with Kareem Hunt from the goal line. And the Texans answered right back on the ensuing drive. And then the Browns answered again. The Browns, hey, they had a little answer for everything. And I thought that field goal, settling for that field goal early, was going to stick with the Texans. But then after the Browns, Scored 14. They scored on that Kareem Hunt again. After they scored, the Texans just buckled down. They finally started getting home on the pass rush. The coverage was really sticky. They started to figure out how to play some of that middle of the field stuff that was having some success. They got after that, and the Browns didn't have any sort of counter punch to getting punched in the mouth by the Texans. Anderson and Grenard got home on one. Derek Barnett played his tail off, man. For a midseason waiver claim, Derek Barnett played awesome. I don't give a crap how he got on the team. For a first-round pick, for an undrafted free, he played a great football game. I mean, he was awesome at that end spot when you got Grenard banged up, when you got Will Anderson banged up, and Anderson was in the tent at one point. This defense just played their behind off. Such a great performance. The coverage from Steven Nelson throughout most of the game was really good. Stingley was excellent. He shut down Amari Cooper when he was on Amari Cooper. Even Nelson was out there popping David Njoku when he jumped up in there. And it was great stuff from this defense. And they suffocated the Browns. They really did. You go through and you watch this and you look, the Browns get this thing to 14-10. The Texans score on the Brevin Jordan play, and then the Browns 3-and-out right after that. And then the next time the Browns get on the field, they get a little first down, and then it's an illegal shift on a deep incomplete. And then Steven Nelson, I felt like this was an underrated play in the game. Steven Nelson stoned David Njoku and forced the Browns to punt. I mean, just absolutely crushed him about 1.5 yards short. Browns punted, and then the Texans finished that drive off with a Dalton Schultz touchdown, and it was 24-14 Texans. But that Steven Nelson smacking of David Njoku to stop it from being a first down, that's a really, really nice play that's not going to get talked about a ton. But that was a great play, forced the Browns to punt, kept them from getting any sort of momentum. Great job. Just a great job by Steven Nelson on that one, and a really good night for the most part overall for Nelson, and just the defense. So good. To have been embarrassed a couple weeks ago by Joe Flacco and this offense, and to just a few weeks later play the same team in the same stadium in a much bigger situation, and to just kick their tail like that. That's impressive. Impressive. Kenneth, I appreciate the super chat, my friend. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The super chats certainly help out the channel. I appreciate those. Thank you. Nathan Winters, I hope Derek Barnett is healthy. He got hurt on the final sack of the defense, hurt his wrist when him and Heinisch sacked Flacco. Yeah, going to need him. I mean, he's a player that you can rely on right now. You can trust him a little bit. Mr. Heisenberg, draped up, dripped out. Man, the halftime show was great too. I mean, I don't know if you guys know about Mike Jones. It's not easy to get Mike Jones to do a performance these days. And they got Mike Jones out there. Who? Mike Jones. Mike's Book Reviews, which is a great channel. If you like to read, you need to follow him here on YouTube. Not even my wildest dreams did I see the game being a route like that. What a complete game. That, to me, is the biggest takeaway from this entire game outside of C.J. Stroud's excellence, is the complete nature of what the Texans put together. The offense balled out. The defense balled out. The special teams helped you. The head coach, when maybe there was a conversation to go for it early on in the game when it was 4th and short on the goal line, he decides to kick the field goal, trust his team, doesn't overthink it, doesn't get too deep in the weeds on that standpoint, and complete football game. So when you start thinking about who in the playoffs, when they play a complete football game, like what's their tip-top level, like that's a really good performance by the Texans. That's some of the best football they're going to play all year. If the other team doesn't bring it and the Texans play a complete game, they can beat anybody that's left in the playoffs. They can beat the Buffalo Bills should they face the Bills sometime down the road. They can beat the Pittsburgh Steelers should they face the Steelers sometimes down the road. They can beat the Kansas City Chiefs should they face Kansas City next week. And yes, with a complete game like we saw tonight, the Texans can beat the Baltimore Ravens. What they put together, as C.J. Stroud talked about in the postgame, it's one of the most complete games they've played all year long. They finally put together all three sides of the football, all four quarters, a complete football game. And when they play like that, not many people are beating them. And if they play 3 more complete games, there's a really good chance that they're hoisting a Lombardi. Now, it's really hard to do that. As we've talked about it here, they've played complete game 3 times this year, maybe 4 times this year. It's hard to do. And you don't get to carry over from last week to the next week. Oh, well, we played a complete game last week. It's pretty easy to play a complete one next week. You don't get to do that. But if they play 3 more complete games, plan the parade. Unless one of those other teams plays a complete game too, but more than likely, if you're playing a complete game, they're suffering. Okay? They're suffering. The Shasta, 151 people, only 19 likes. Hit that like button and show Cody Stoots some love. The Shasta, I appreciate the super chat to get the people on the like button. It's the little thumbs up icon at the bottom of the video. Would certainly appreciate the like, and I appreciate the super chat, the Shasta. Thank you so much for that. That's very kind of you. All right, what else we got here on the comment section? If the Texans do play the Ravens, it's not going to be easy. Ravens got too many weapons. Ravens got a lot of weapons, man. A lot of weapons. Some good players over there. Gus Edwards is a nice running back. Zay Flowers is a rookie. Wide receiver who's played really well. Odell, but it's a totally different, it could not be a more different team than the team that started this season. I mean, so much growth and improvement. So good over the course of this season. And to be where they are with a first-year head coach, a rookie quarterback, a first-time play caller in Bobby Slowik, a slew of veterans that, a lot of teams, they've put together a few years together, and they get used to each other. A lot of these guys are all new over the course of just this year. So to have this thing come together and be as close as they are, as CJ Stroud is always talking about it, how close this team is. It's a testament to Nico Ryans, the way they lead, the way the players take to it. Just a great job by this team. DeRhino's got a super chat. I honestly believe the 2 weeks of rest and recovery gave CJ and Will Anderson time to refocus and get past any rookie walls. Yeah, man, that Will was starting to dial it up, so I don't know if the rookie wall was coming for him, but it gave CJ Stroud. Another thing about CJ Stroud, he talked about it. His body got to heal. His first time off from football since August of 2022 when he started that season with Ohio State, because then it was nonstop Ohio State. As soon as he's done, nonstop workout to get ready for the draft. Then it was nonstop workout to get ready to coach or to take over at quarterback for the Texans. And then that's the first time he's had a time to rest. And he looks as good as he's looked all season long. Just total control. And him and Slowik were in a zone together. They were simpatico in this one. King David. There's a point in the game where Stroud overshot Nico by 1 foot. If Nico wouldn't have looked back, it would have been a touchdown. You could tell Stroud was wanting that one back. I feel like that one's on Nico. Nico either looking back for the ball or stumbled a little bit or whatever. They'll connect on that next time. But the roof would have come off that NRG Stadium if that had happened. It'd have come unglued at the seams if that had happened. I love this. Net points by the defense, 0. I like that. Houston football is so back. Absolutely. Just incredible performance. And you have to feel good about the rest of this run. Look, Baltimore's scary. Kansas City's tough. You have to feel good about the rest of this run. But you have to feel amazing about the future of this team. The foundation and serious building blocks are in place with this Texans team, and they go about proving it. It feels like each and every week. The foundation of this team and the building blocks are here, and that's good for years upon years upon years of success. And that is what gets really exciting about this Texans team. You don't want to look too far in the future, but my goodness, as I said earlier this week, the future is bright. Woo! The future is bright. So bright, you got to put shades on. Black eighth element. If our O-line can block like this, CJ will carve any team up. Texans swarm. Look, Stroud getting protected. He's going to make a play. He's going to make a play. If they can protect CJ Stroud, he will make a play. Miami lost. That means we go to Baltimore. Not necessarily. If Pittsburgh wins, the Texans go to Kansas City. If Buffalo wins on Monday, the Texans go to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. All right. We'll go over that a couple different times because I know people come in and come out here. Okay. Nico Collins, bona fide stud. I mean, he's turned into a really good player over the course of this season. He's the Texans' number one wide receiver. He's the best wide receiver on the Texans. He was crisscrossing all over dudes tonight, just over the middle, went a route over on the side, beat him to the sideline, accelerating, just dicing guys up, cutting through that Browns defense is what I meant to say a moment ago instead of crisscrossing, cutting through that Browns defense. He is a incredible story. He was not good the first 2 years and couldn't stay healthy. This year, he got dinged up, missed a game, but he's a 1,000-yard receiver, and he is a clear weapon. He will get behind defenses. He'll go make tough plays over the middle, and when he catches the ball, he's a yak monster that loves to run people over. What more can you ask for from your number one wide receiver? What more can you ask for? And they finally started using him in more than just run down the sideline and throw it up to him. They let him go out there and run real routes and take care of business, and he's been taking care of business from the start this year, it feels like. If you want to get in on the show, live, video, audio, you can. The link's at the top of the chat. If you want to click it, you want to get in. Your guy, I forget, it's Demon.
Yeah, Demon, you're right.
Demon, what do you got for us? All the way from Canada, yes?
Yes, sir.
It's like you guys are frozen in up there, yeah?
It's colder than Kansas City, put it that way.
Oh, okay. All right. That's
all
right. What'd you think of that matchup? What'd you think of that performance?
Holy moly, man. I did not expect that one bit. I honestly thought we were gonna lose, but I thought it would be like a close game, like field goal or touchdown or whatever. I did not expect that because at halftime it was 17-14. I was like, okay, come out of half, get a good drive. We didn't get a good drive, and then I was like, uh-oh, Cleveland, and then Flacco threw 2 pick sixes in a row, and I'm like, well, that'll do it. Like that's it. So
yeah, that was I to me, the Steven Nelson pick six, that kind of really, I didn't see how Cleveland was going to stop the Texans all the way and come all the way back. But then when Christian Harris, I mean, when he does that, I mean, that was it. That was it for them. That was it for them.
Yeah, that was just icing on the cake at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The cake had been baked. That was the icing. That was the icing.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Sure. For sure. Who you want? You want Kansas City? You want Baltimore?
Definitely Kansas City. I mean, yeah, I don't want Kansas City in a weather game like it was today against the Dolphins. That looked miserable. But like, I don't know, because the Ravens, like, yeah, they're the best team, but we saw them like 4 years ago when Tennessee went there, because when they had 2 weeks off and Tennessee, beat them pretty good, right? It's a different Ravens team, but I don't know, man. I mean, with CJ Stroud, we can pretty much beat anybody. I mean, Browns had the best defense going into this, and Stroud looked pretty comfortable all night. Myles Garrett didn't even get a sniff. I thought Tunsil had a tremendous game today. He did great blocking, and I think I've criticized Slowik a lot this season because I think he's gone conservative at times when he shouldn't go conservative. But today he called a tremendous game, and like the blocking was great. Myles Garrett didn't even get a sniff today. Like Owusu Karamoa was their best player by far. And
I thought there were 2 of that guy on the field. He was everywhere. They call him just JOK. Yeah, JOK was everywhere for them. Linebackers. I mean, he played a great game despite the fact that they got teeth kicked in.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he was just Garrett, nothing. Zadarius Smith got a quarterback hit. Dalvin Tomlinson wasn't getting. I mean, the Texans took care of business.
Yeah. No, and I thought too, like, we saw what Derek Stingley can do. He was on Cooper. Cooper got what? 2 catches tonight, 3 catches. One of them was in garbage time, right? Like, when Cooper's not lined up on D'Angelo Ross, it's he was blanketed. I understand he was hurt, but like, Stingley still, like, that guy's an elite corner. Like, he just is, Stingley needs to be on every wide receiver 1 from here on out. Like, he is a ridiculously good corner.
Yeah, he played his tail off against Cooper tonight. This is 80% of the snaps, and Cooper had basically nothing when Stingley was defending him.
Yeah.
Cooper finished the night 4 for 59. Most of that was, it wasn't explosive stuff getting into Cooper. So
yeah, a lot of it was out.
Really
His first catch was like 30 yards. And then after that, he basically had nothing going.
Yeah, Cooper, he wasn't going to do the 265, but I didn't get the sense that he was going to come in here and just, kick ass again.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to say, too. It's like people looked at the first matchup and were like, oh, the Browns are going to win. I'm like, okay, first off, Texans had Case Keenum and Davis Mills playing quarterback. Yeah. So, A, the defense is never going to get off the field because we're going to have a ton of 3-and-outs against the best defense in the league. Like, we stood no chance. B, Will Anderson and Jonathan Grenard went out like the second snap of the game. Will Anderson didn't play. Blake Cashman didn't play. Like, Steven Nelson went out because he was hurt. And then D'Angelo Ross was on Amari Cooper. So it's like, yeah, the Browns beat us, but they beat basically our entire backup defense, right? No CJ Stroud either. You saw what happened with CJ Stroud, right? Like,
boy, it's great when you can counterpunch. When the team scores and you can counterpunch, isn't that awesome?
Oh yeah. I thought like some of the throws CJ made today, like he didn't have to do much because the defense really showed up. But like that one throw to Nico, I think it was to get into the red zone. When Nico made that diving catch, that was a great throw.
It's when they settled for the field goal.
Yeah, that was the one. And I thought that was such a good throw, and like he never looked panicked, right? Like he never. And yeah, the O-line did a great job tonight. And I liked Bobby Slowik's scheme of rolling out of the pocket, rolling away from pressure, right? Because if he would have just stood there, Myles Garrett might have gotten home, but didn't even have a sniff tonight, Myles Garrett. I don't even know if he had a QB hit. I don't think he did.
He didn't.
Nope. Yeah, there you go.
He didn't.
And that's like, so I mean, from that right now, it's just like Texans are just playing with house money at this point. Like if we lose to Baltimore, I really don't care. Like, if you told me we would be in the divisional game at this point in the season, I would have been like, "You're absolutely nuts." But like at this point, I don't care what happens.
I love D'Amico saying we didn't come this far to come this far. So
nope, exactly.
Let's see what they got. Team, man, appreciate you jumping in, man. Thank you so much. Stay warm up there.
Thanks, Stoots. Yep. Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Oh, I cut him off before I said bye. But thank you, Team. Good stuff. East Texas Poppy is in the building. Complete game defense side. Stroud is him. Sure, absolutely exceeded expectations. Stroud was always him before the draft, as I said. Need to catch up soon, Stoots. Yeah, we used to go back and forth on Young and Stroud. And I've seen the error of my ways. Yes, JC. Almost no penalties from the Texans in this matchup. Really good improvement from that standpoint. That's something that jumped out to me at the end of the game. Was hardly no laundry on the field. Maybe Steven Nelson got there a little early. Maybe. Can we talk about Christian Harris? Yes, we can. Yes, we can, the Shasta. So, Christian Harris has turned into one of the most reliable players on this team. He's playing the best at linebacker of any of the linebackers, and he is a guy that you can trust week in and week out for whatever the assignment is. You need him to stop the run, boom, he's putting his nose in there. You need him in coverage, well, we saw what happened tonight when Flacco challenged him. He took it back for a pick six. I texted a friend of mine in the end of the first quarter of the Tampa Bay game, and I said, Christian Harris is playing like crap. What's wrong with him? When's it going to click? When's it going to turn over for Christian Harris? And he's going to be this guy that we all thought he was going to be, and that Lovie Smith was jumping up and down, pumped that the Texans got. When's that going to happen? And it was basically from the moment I sent that text for the rest of the season, Christian Harris has been kicking ass. He has been a reliable guy. D'Amico Ryans trusts him in coverage. He's stuffed countless run, and he is a electric factory. He gets that defense so pumped. He is always jazzed up. I mean, he makes a big hit. He lets the defender hear about it. And I think back to Tennessee, when he stuffed Derrick Henry and he got over him and he just kind of looked at Derrick Henry and then he walked away. And I was like, golly, Christian Harris is ready to go. He's been ready to go since the middle of that Tampa game, and he is one of the best defenders on this team. I think Stingley, Anderson, Grenard, probably one of the defensive tackles are better. Nelson's better, but Harris is quickly climbing the defensive rankings, quickly. Devin, I appreciate the super chat, my friend. If you meant to throw something in there, please throw it in there. We'll get to it as soon as we can. Keep the comments coming. We'll get to as many as we can. Keep jumping in if you want to, like our guy H-Town's Ultimate. What's up, man? How you living?
Cody, I'm living grand. I'm living great, man. I'm so pumped still. So excited. And what a win. NRG was bumping, the best I've seen it since 2019. I mean, it was loud. Everyone was proud. I mean, it was amazing. I'm so hyped.
Yeah, I mean, that place was rocking. It was rocking at the right times for most of it, with the exception of the one time that CJ had to kind of quiet the crowd down a little bit. But,
MVP.
Yeah, he's like, I'm trying to get this draw play off the Devin Singletary guys. Give me a break here.
Right. And we're talking about Will Anderson. I mean, he's just been going crazy. Ever since training camp, we saw him getting all those fights, you know. I'm like, this guy's got some juice, you know. Like, goodness gracious.
I was really surprised that he got the start. I felt like they were going to just kind of work him in, but it felt like he had more snaps this week than he could have played if it was a regular close game. And then Grenard was kind of the limited snap guy. So
same with
I'll be interested to see where that goes going forward with both those guys, you know, trying to work through their injuries.
Barnett got hurt at the very end there too. You don't like to see that.
Yeah, got to figure out what that is. If it's
wrist,
if it's a wrist or a hand, you know, maybe he can club it up and play through it, something like that.
The old club,
that'd
be cool.
You know, so we'll have to see on that one.
Cashman also had a wonderful game too. He was doing the right things. He was saying it was way too loud for anyone's own good. So
yeah, so loud I couldn't hear myself think. Play Cashman said.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I had to cover my ears a couple times. Sat next to a couple pretty nice Brown fans. They were pretty respectable. I mean, they're pretty excited for our team as well. You know, as is the whole entire league.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's. I'll tell you what. If you're not a Texans fan, you're just a regular old football fan. They are a damn fun watch, man.
I mean, they have to be the best team to watch right now. I mean, who has bigger pass plays? Who has it going down on defense like us?
I mean, I guess the improv excitability of like a Lamar and a Mahomes is there, but like the Texans when they are on, man, it is boom, big play, boom, big play, boom. You know, 8 yards, 2nd and 2, boom, Singletary runs for 8, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah, I know, man. Who do you want? You want Baltimore? You want Kansas City? What are you thinking?
I'd like Kansas City inherently because that leaves the opportunity that that you get an AFC championship home game. Highly unlikely. Kansas City doesn't have the juice on offense that Baltimore does. But I do worry about Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes together against this Texans defense. But hey, Kevin Stefanski and Joe Flacco 3 weeks ago lit this defense up, and here's how they played. Tonight, I don't like the variable that is Lamar. He's hard to account for, and sure, it's hard to account for Patrick Mahomes too. But they got more juice over there in Baltimore from a collective offensive and defensive standpoint than the Texans do.
Yeah. That they do. Well, we're gonna have our advantages there in that game as well. We got the better coach. We got the better quarterback. You know, we got some we got some pros in that game.
Man, if you're protecting CJ Stroud, there are very few guys that can be better than him on any given day. And we saw that with this Browns game tonight.
Isn't it great, man? As a rookie.
As a rookie.
Yes, sir.
As a rookie. People keep trying to do this. Well, we don't treat you like a rookie. He's a rookie. Stop taking away from how awesome this is.
I know, dude.
He's a rookie.
God bless him.
Man, what else you got?
Man, I don't have too much more for you, really.
All right. I appreciate you jumping in, man. Thank you for
Yes, sir.
watching.
Have a good one.
Good stuff from H-Town's Ultimate. Well, you guys are firing up the super chats, man. Devin, thank you. The Shasta, thank you. Scott Matthews, thank you. Wes asked a question. Any chance Tank Dell makes it back for the Super Bowl? So Tank Dell's season is over. If a player's on injured reserve, their season's over. There's no more returns from injured reserve for the Texans. So no Tegan Quintiriano, no Jimmy Ward, no Tank Dell, no Jarrett Patterson. If they're hurt and they're on IR now, they're not coming back. They're not coming back. So, so no more of that. No more Tank Dell, unfortunately. Is Harris the Fred Warner for D'Amico on this team? That's a tall task. I wouldn't, there's another is Harris for, he ain't that guy, but he's useful. And D'Amico Ryans implements him in really fun ways and trusts him a lot at that linebacker spot. Drew weighs in. I always thought D'Amico was a strong D-line, but wow, this year, if you watch the Texans, you have to appreciate this overall culture with players and his choice of OC and draft and everything. D'Amico Ryans has been fantastic this year. Calling the defense, it's been really good. From just a player improvement standpoint, picking the coaching staff, coaching guys up, it's been fantastic. And, we talked about the penalties earlier. That's the coach. The coach gets those guys to stop creating penalties and stop making mistakes. That's the coach. The coach does that. Good coaching over the course of the week is what puts that together. So D'Amico's been great. I have not submitted my Pro Football Writers of America awards yet. He's got to be the coach of the year. I understand what Stefanski's working with, but D'Amico's working with a lot of stuff last year that didn't look too hot, and now it looks real hot. So that's something to factor in when you think about that coach of the year. D'Angelo Camargo, I appreciate that. I hope I didn't butcher your name too bad. D'Angelo, appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Black Eighth Element, isn't it funny when the Texans beat the ass, they want about how stacked with talent we have? Nah, dude, we just have heart and no fear. But that's talented dudes, but they play tough, man. The Texans, they fly around on defense. Good to see you, Jonathan. They are tough, man. And that swarm mentality D'Amico Ryans talks about, and they really do fly to that football. Scooting the Browns players hard when they were doing warm-ups. Scooting? I don't know. Fill me in on that. Oh, yeah. Chris saying they're not the same. Pay Brevin Jordan. How about Brevin Jordan? From a guy that I felt like was going to get cut in training camp. He felt like he might get cut in training camp. Got hurt in training camp and what was a pivotal training camp for him. And fights and claws and scratches his way through this season, has had a little bit of success here or there. And that play, that's a great play. Like he operates, executes the play exactly how he needs to. And instead of taking the yards that were there and going out of bounds, he cut that sucker up and took off, man. I didn't know he had that in him. Devin Singletary joking after the game. He's like, I didn't know he had it in him either. I didn't know that he was that fast. It's like, man, Devin Singletary saying what I'm thinking. I didn't know either. But great job by Brevin Jordan. That's a really cool situation for him to experience going through, God, am I even going to have a job to make it a big-time play in the playoff game? And that really ripped some momentum away from the Browns. The Browns had scored on back-to-back drives that answered Texans scores, and Brevin Jordan just ripped it away. The Browns went 3-and-out out of that one. Man, that was a huge play. A huge play. Adrian wants to jump in on this. What's up, Adrian?
Man, what's good, Cody? How you doing?
I'm as good.
That's good to hear. First, I just wanted to say I enjoy the content. I always enjoyed you on the Wheelhouse. So it's good to see you got your channel up and running.
Thank you.
And it's a good day to be a Texans fan. I'm so excited. I'm in Germany, so I'm actually up at 6 a.m.
What?
watching everything Texans related. I always stay up late when we got like these primetime games or whatever. So like, it's a really good day. I can't sleep. I'm enjoying it. I wish I was back home. I just want to like come on and pretty much show love to some of the unsung heroes for today's game, like Brevin Jordan. I was really happy for John Mechie to get the catch early in the game to like sustain the drive. I thought Jalen Petrie played really well. I wish he would have got the interception. It's kind of like seal it up for him. It was man, just all the players that we kind of like harp on or kind of like I wish he was developing quicker, yada yada yada. I was so happy for them to see them play. It seemed like the whole team from top to bottom contributed to the win today, and that was really good to see. It was good to see us get our first couple pick sixes in this game. I was waiting for that all season. I was like, man, we're not really scoring no defensive touchdowns. We're not really turning the ball over as much this season. I was really waiting for that to kind of kick in this year, and it kicked in at the perfect time. So that was good to see, man. Like it was a real good win today.
And they were nasty on defense, and just Steven Nelson's return was awesome.
Yeah, especially after he gave up that or it looked like I don't know what the responsibilities was, but it looked like he just, got beat real deep. Yeah. But it was good to see him just come back and get the duck out the water, take it back home. But the Christian Harris pick six, man, like the way I watched the clip over and over, like the way he just sat on it, it reminded me of a play that they was describing in training camp, where he sat on like a I don't know, like a stop route or something like that against the Dolphins in training camp. It reminded me of that. I'm like, man, like he really got some jets on him, you know what I'm saying? So it was just an exciting game. NRG, like, it was rocking. Like, I was like, man,
it was
like
crazy.
It was crazy. I was really just sitting like, wow, this is like, it usually happens to us. So it's like, it's good that we did it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? That was a really good feeling. Like, it reminded me of what CJ said early in the season. Like, as Texans fans, we deserve to have something to be proud of, and, you know what I'm saying, be able to brag. And that's what all I've been doing. Like, everybody been talking crazy about the franchise for the last few years, saying we can't do this, we're not ready for this, yada yada yada. Oh yeah, everybody. I got the receipts for everybody. Everybody got an answer for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good feeling.
Awesome. Adrian, I appreciate you jumping in.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Good stuff from Adrian. Now, Adrian mentioned a great play by Christian Harris. Not only was it something that maybe in training camp they had seen earlier on there, D'Amico Ryan said that play 3 weeks ago against the Browns, he screwed up. He screwed up that play a few weeks ago against the Browns, and he got it right this time. And boy, did he get it right. He got it even more than right. Devin's weighed in with a super chat. Devin, thank you so much. I'm not a test taker. I'm a football player. Ooh, he passed the test. And he's not just a football player. He's a baller. And CJ Stroud taking care of business. Devin, appreciate the super chats, man. Thank you so much. And Torian, Stoots, you are bringing A+ content. Love your work. Go Texans. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you, everybody, for the support, for watching, the thumbs up, the likes, the subscriptions, sharing it with anybody. Thank you so much. You guys make this an incredibly fun experience. Shanji, Coach of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, arguably Defensive Rookie of the Year, run through Houston. And D'Amico Ryan stumping for his guys post-game, saying we got the offensive and defensive rookies of the year. Well, that was nice. Dennis brings up something that's a conversation we got to have here. It's a conversation we got to have here. And if Bobby leaves, let's hope they get a similar guy or better. Boy, did Bobby Slowik put on a show and put on a impressive showcase for what he can do as a offensive mastermind. Brevin Jordan called him a genius after the game. This was the best game Bobby Slowik's called all year long. He was incredible. He was in rhythm with CJ Stroud. Got a little cute there in that first red zone drive, but had it dialed in and ready to rock basically the rest of the way. Slowik was really good. And multiple teams have already requested for him to interview for their head coach opportunity. I got to imagine some more teams ask for permission to talk to him as well. And he was as locked in and as dialed in this week as I have ever seen him or heard him. And it showed off on game day. And that was quite the showcase for all those teams that are thinking about Bobby Slowik. And if he leaves, well, DeMeco Ryans plucked Bobby Slowik somewhat out of obscurity to become the offensive coordinator. I trust DeMeco Ryans to go find another offensive mind to run this team. Heck, maybe Gerard Johnson, the quarterback's coach, is ready to be an offensive coordinator. He's interviewed for that job a handful of times. So maybe it's him. But I do feel like there's a decent chance Bobby Slowik sticks around for one more year, and goes from being a candidate to the candidate next year. The candidate next year instead of just a candidate this year. But Texans keep rolling. He may turn into the candidate. You never know. East Texas Bobby. Second year of Deep Steel Thunder. Energy, excitement through the building. Between last year and this year, it's been a huge impact. The McNairs in the front office finally figured it out. Yes, they did. They're playing good football. It's really easy to put people in the building with good football. It's really easy to put butts every 36 inches when you're playing good football. Mike's book reviews. Got to wonder if the S2 test will even be implemented in the NFL draft process anymore. Those guys might go bankrupt. Not good. Not good at all. Jorge. Shout out to the fans. NRG was packed house. Rumors here and there. Somebody Browns fan was false. This was showing had this season opposing team. NRG was rocking. Yeah. They're so loud. Cashman talked about how loud it was. CJ talked about how loud it was. Brevin, Devin Singleton, everybody was talking about it. So loud, and great job by the fans. D'Angelo, Stingley was elite. That's what he does, man. He locks cats up. That's what he's been doing since he got back from that injury. Cody bringing that grade A content. Thank you so much, Shasta. Y'all remember Shasta McNasty, the TV show? That basically the whole gist of the show was Vern Troyer's going to be on our first episode. And that was it. I can't tell you one thing about the show after that. Jorge says, love your Houston football hat. Well, Jorge, I'm glad you mentioned that. You can purchase this hat in the description down below. In the description down below, it says, get you a hat here. It takes you to the Shopify store. Get you a Houston football Navy snapback trucker hat. I'll get you that's what it looks like on the back, the embroidery on this stuff. My guy Shorty that does my embroidery is incredible. You can get you one if you want to buy one. We did a hat raffle last week. We may get one of those fired up here in the next couple of days. Yeah, you can buy you a hat if you like it. I got to give the person credit. Let me see here. I got to give the guy credit that was it was Jonathan. Jonathan sent me a message on Instagram. He wore his Houston football hat to the game. So I feel like we can definitively say Jonathan and his Houston football hat are the reason the Texans defeated the Cleveland Browns. Definitively. Hefe'd rather face Baltimore than Kansas City. Let's see here. Mr. Heisenberg. What makes Stoots different from everybody else is he tries to get everybody's comments, which I appreciate. I try as much as I can, man. 280 y'all, a bunch of y'all weighing in and try to get as many as I could. If you have all the starters back, where do you think would be in rank of the league? I don't know, because this team's going to change. They're going to spend a bunch of money in free agency. They're going to draft a couple players. So I don't know. I don't know where they're going to be. Here's what I know. When you've got one of the best quarterbacks, you're one of the best teams more often than not. When you've got one of the best quarterbacks, you've got one of the best teams, and CJ Stroud's one of the best quarterbacks. So you should have one of the best teams. Filling out his resume. Bobby Slowik, y'all ever apply to a job and they tell you to upload your resume and you upload it and then they ask you to fill out 4 pages of, oh, well, here's your job. Basically all the stuff that's on your resume. They ask you to do that. Bobby Slowik was like, nah, I'm good. Watch the Browns game and see if you want me to be your head coach. Okay? Watch the Browns game. And then we can talk. Then we can talk. The true question would be if Slowik, who they look for OC, if he leaves someone under the Shanahan tree, Kubiak, Gerard Johnson, someone else. Sure. I mean, look, let D'Amico talk to people and figure it out. Clint Kubiak, Gary's son. Clint Kubiak, Gary's son. He is he's on the San Francisco staff right now, and he'd be in consideration. Obviously, Gerard Johnson, the quarterback's coach, would be in consideration. I mean, they interviewed Kingsbury. He's still out there. So they interviewed Kingsbury if they wanted to go down that route. It's not the same offense, but, Cliff can figure it out. I like this Shanahan tree, though. I really do. Descendant, yeah. If Slowik leaves one other descendant from the Shanahan tree. Mike, if you need a guy to make hats, you let me know. My hat guy is the best. My hat guy legitimately is the best. That's another thing. If you need custom embroidery, or you got a business, or you work for a school, or you got a traveling baseball team, my guy crushes everybody. So send me an email. I can hook you up with an email for him. My guy crushes everybody. He's the best. I mean, look at this freaking detail on this. You're not getting that from some generic website. My guy's local too. Take care of the local people. Also, Mike, quite the, you didn't mean to brag, but 108,000 subscribers. It's pretty good. They send you the little plaque. Did you get the plaque thing? YouTube sends you that. If you like books, Mike's the man when it comes to books. And he's a Texans fan. Go support a fellow Texans fan. So hypothetically, how crazy would it be if they had Stroud as QB during the J.J. Watt and Johnson era? Well, I mean, they'd have won the damn Super Bowl. That's what would have happened. Come on, Marco C. They'd have won the Super Bowl. That's what would have happened. The Stingley and Sauce debate will be interesting now. Ooh, yeah. Ask Asante Samuel about it on Twitter. Ask Asante Samuel about it on Twitter. Would you take Max Crosby over Jonathan Grenard or vice versa? Well, I mean, Max Crosby is super expensive, but he's awesome. I mean, he's better than Grenard. You're not getting him, though. He's not leaving the Raiders. I like this mentality from Jorge. Way we played, doesn't matter who we face next. I like that. I like that from Jorge. Good stuff from Jorge. Good stuff. Good mentality. Hope the team has that same mentality. William, Alabama fans really thought they could get Miko. Hey, look, it's worth a shot. Worth trying to think about it, have the conversation. Here's what I will say about Alabama. Will Anderson with a sack, Christian Harris with a sack and a pick six. John Mechie got involved on the offense. They did it for Coach Saban. They wanted to make Coach Saban proud. They did it for Coach Saban. It's a great job by those Bama boys. Jackson. On draft night, Texas traded the Browns, picked the Cardinals instead of their own to get Will Anderson. At the time, people thought it was stupid. Now the Browns pick is more valuable. Yep. Now we can all shut up about this. Not you, Jackson, but like that people were wringing their hands like, oh, no, the draft pick. Oh, no. And I get it. The Browns were supposed to be much better than the Texans, but here you go. It's why you play the damn games. It's why you play the games. It's a good job by Nick Caserio. We'd be killing him if the Texans had kept their pick and traded the Browns one. Be like, well, we wanted those 6 spots or whatever it is. Gerard coached my high school a while back. Great guy. I've actually hosted a radio show with Gerard Johnson. He used to come in and guest on Sports Radio 610 with myself and John Lopez. He filled in one day. Gerard's a great human being. Great guy. Super, super nice guy. Had a daughter a little while ago. I got him a little family. I was so pumped for him to come back to Houston after his time in Indy. He's been all around the place. Hopefully some roots for him. Rick weighs in. Went from 32 in the power rankings to breaking the top 10. We should be pretty high starting next season. Why not one? Huh? This thing keeps going. Why not one? Stoots, the Browns were crying, making excuses. The only reason was because the refs were in our favor. That's see ya. I'm in Cleveland. I'm a Browns fan. Factory of sadness. Get out of here with that crap, Cleveland. Get out of here. I feel like at this rate, anyone who was touched on the shoulder by Shanahan once is going to get an opportunity to be an NFL head coach. Hey, keep picking fruit from the tree, man. It's working. It's working. Laser ain't gonna be the OC here. And no, thank you. Oh, that's a hard pass for me. Hard pass for me. Oh, you mean Josh McDaniels? No, that ain't happening either. That ain't happening either. Nick Caserio, best GM in the league. I mean, he's done a great job over the past year. I mean, he is great job from the Derek Barnett waiver claim, Majai Sanders waiver claim, all the free agents he brought in, the draft, Tank Dell and Juice Scruggs. And we don't even talk. That's how you know Juice Scruggs is a good pick. We don't talk about Juice Scruggs. When's the last time we pointed out, oh, God, Juice Scruggs got his ass kicked? That didn't happen. We don't talk about Juice Scruggs. That's how I know Juice Scruggs was a good draft pick. Because if you never talk about the guard, then he's a good draft pick. Great job. He's supposed to be the center, but obviously he's the guard now. Great job on the Juice Scruggs pick. And he's kicking ass. Brandon, do we re-sign Schultz and Motor? I bet they get one of them back. Schultz is going to be tough, man. Schultz is going to be expensive. Woo, he's going to be expensive. I wonder if you can get another Dalton Schultz-esque player. Somebody maybe bet on themselves. The market's not quite been there for him. Wonder if you get another Dalton Schultz-esque player. Yeah, let Nick cook. Yeah, let him get after it. Not that I agree with it totally, but now that Nico has been so awesome, throw in Tank Dell. Need for a wide receiver is not so pressing. What about a running back next year on my nuts? Look, they've got a lot of draft picks. They've got a lot of money. Go out there and get whatever you feel like you need. Get a bunch of wide receivers. Get a bunch of running backs. T. James, definitely a turning point moment, not only for the franchise, but also us for fans. Leave the Bulls on parade mentality in the past and keep the swarm mentality. Been too cordial for too long. Yeah, I like the swarm, man. They're taking care of business. Shasta, I'm sorry I didn't quite see this. Austin Eckler would be perfect in this team. But get out of here. Get Austin Eckler away from this team. He's washed. He's more washed than my favorite sweatshirt. Get Austin Eckler out of here. I appreciate the super chat, Shasta. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't get to it faster. Schultz having too much fun with CJ. He's staying put. Hey, the money's right, and he likes CJ. Go for it, man. Go for it. Mr. Heisenberg, top flight free agents will be clamoring to come here in the offseason. You got the money, anybody will play for you. You got the money, anybody will play for you, including, yes, Mike Evans. Galveston Ball's finest, Mike Evans. When we know the new uniforms look like and colors, they'll be debuted draft week this year. So draft week this year, so it'll be in April. And you'll know, I'm sure there'll be some leaks and some small stuff ahead of time. But draft week this April is when it officially debuts. A little bit of a rusty start. They got going there after that rusty start, after that slow start. So a couple of punts to get things going, but then they scored on back-to-back drives. So, yeah, but yeah, I mean, they were ready to rock from the beginning last time. So maybe a little bit of rust. That's something too. That's something too about the Baltimore Ravens. They rested last week, and they were off this week. So the Ravens will be coming up on 3 weeks since they played their starters in a game. Any player that sticks out for a late first-round pick for the Texans this year? I mean, Sean, I like you, so I'll answer it, but I haven't totally looked at that just yet. I mean, a corner if Steven Nelson leaves. So, corner. Adonai Mitchell from Texas, if you want to go wide out, though I don't know if they're going to go wide out. Probably too early for Jeremiah Trotter and for Tavondre Sweat, but nice players. Nice players. So, I don't know what they're going to do in free agency. They may spend money in free agency to fix some of these holes, and then you don't have such a dire draft need. That's one of the big things about this team this past year. They had to draft certain positions, and they had so many holes even after free agency. They had so many holes in this team, and so it's just been about trying to backfill a lot of that because O'Brien's draft classes stunk, and the first Caserio class didn't have a first or second round pick. So you're trying to backfill some of that talent here. Take a running back in the first round. Stop it. No. Stop that. Texans need to draft the best center in the draft. Bro, they got Jared Patterson and Juice Scruggs. Like, those guys will fight to the death for the center spot next year. The loser will be the backup or the left guard. They don't need a center. Are they going to lose Grenard? Probably. I don't know, though. I'm not sure. You think you have a shot at the Super Bowl this year? Look, if you're in the dance, you can dance. And you see how long you can dance. They're in the dance, and they're going to keep dancing. Can they beat the Ravens? Absolutely. Can they beat the Bills if they play the Bills? Yes. Can they beat the Steelers if they play the Steelers? Yes. Can they beat the Chiefs if they play the Chiefs? Yes. Can they beat the 49ers if they play the 49ers in the Super Bowl? Maybe. Yes. Like, they can beat everybody who's left. Will they? I mean, that's why we play. They can beat everybody that's left, though. Yeah, Jorge says not only did they win a playoff game to help the draft pick, certainly. Milton knows the era of good vibes, baby. Shout out President Monroe for the era of good feelings. We modernized it, the era of good vibes. It continues. Milton, at this point, the era of good vibes may not ever stop. They may not ever stop. Keon Coleman's people want. Draft a backup QB. They got Davis Mills for another year. Who do we want next week? It's up to you. I think I'd rather play Kansas City, but I'm not afraid of Baltimore. They're good. I'm going to show them the proper amount of respect as we get ready for that game. They're good. How do you feel about Jonathan Brooks out of Texas? Stud. J-Rock, I made homemade chicken wings last week, and they won. Made them today, and they won. I think I know what I'm making next week for the game. We're going buffalo sauce. Did you make up some other stuff? Good stuff, J-Rock. Good stuff. Okay. Let's go through the playoff scenario again real quick. All right. Baltimore will play the lowest seeded team remaining. Okay. Baltimore will play the lowest seeded team remaining. So if the Steelers win, they play Baltimore and the Texans play the Chiefs. If the Bills win, the Texans are the lowest seeded team. They will play the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. The Texans can't host a home game for the rest of the playoffs unless they play the Steelers in the AFC Championship game. Okay? So let's go through it again. Bills win, Texans play Baltimore in Baltimore. Steelers win, Texans play Chiefs in Kansas City. All right? It's supposed to be about 39 degrees in Baltimore next week, I've got the hiccups. It's a horrible time to get the hiccups. I tried to not hiccup everywhere. All right, I'm good. I'm going to make it. I used to have a funny bit. Somebody would get the hiccups and I'd say, someone's like, oh, if you scare somebody, the hiccups go away. And so I was dating a gal one time and she was like, I got the hiccups, scare me. And I looked at her and I said, I'm pregnant. And she was like, that's not scary. And I was like, well, if you said it, it'd be scary. She didn't appreciate that. What are you drinking on, Stoots? Water. I'm trying to rehydrate after drinking about 52 Coke Zeros during this game. Water. Trying to lose a few pounds. Lost like 11 pounds so far this year. You can't tell. I lost 11 pounds. Doing all right. Mr. Heisenberg, I need that hat, bro. If you need it, the link's in the description down below. You can buy it. We'll do a hat raffle later this week before the Ravens game. We'll do a hat raffle before the Ravens game. We'll raffle off one more. Here's a dirty little secret for you. I raffled off 2 last time. We'll do another hat raffle this week. If you want to wait and try to win the raffle, you can win the raffle. If you want to buy it, it's in the description down below. Let's see. Steelers not beating Bills. Yeah, probably not. Cody, how much in super chat for you to oil yourself up? Nobody wants to see that, and I'm not trying to violate community guidelines. All right? You'll have to wait till the Cody Stoots OnlyFans comes out. That's actually what I'm doing. With a slight detour today and some treats today. That's actually what I'm doing. And that's another thing about if you're on the carnivore diet, you have to tell people you're on the carnivore diet. I inherently be like, hey, I'm only eating meat. And they're like, who cares? And I'm like, well, I just wanted you to know. And they're like, sir, please pay for your gas. And I'm like, all right. But I just wanted to tell you. Can't tell you until you lose 20. I may need to lose more than 20. Before the Ravens game. So that's your pick. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to play the Ravens. In fact, I'm attempting to go to either of these games. If they play Kansas City, I'm attempting to go. If they play the Ravens, I'm going to attempt to go. And I'm going to go ahead and book flights tonight, just in case. So you may get the post game next week from a hotel room, before the good catch by Chris. I'll let that one slip. Yeah, the Dolphins screwed that up. What a pathetic playoff performance they had. All right, so one more time for anybody that missed it. Bills win, Texans at Baltimore next week. Steelers win, Texans at Kansas City next week. There you go. Hat raffle this week. If you want to buy the hat, it's in the description down below. If we win the AFC and go to the Super Bowl, we need a 12-hour live stream. If they win the Super Bowl, we need a 24-hour live stream. So Jorge, I don't know, you may not have caught this previously. I told the people if they win the Super Bowl, I'll do a 24-hour live stream. I will do a 24-hour live stream, which actually I found out this week, you have to break up into 2 12-hour live streams. But I will do a 24-hour live stream if the Texans win the Super Bowl. I mean, if I go to Baltimore, I go to Kansas City, and you're there, I'll meet you. I'll hang out. I'll buy you a beer. Yeah, cold and outside. Cold and outside for sure. Yeah, Baltimore going to be basically the damn beach compared to Kansas City next week. Yeah, you got to hit a fatality on me. frees me a little bit. Zach, have you seen our opponent's schedule next year? Pretty brutal. You know what a lot of those teams don't have? CJ Stroud. They don't have CJ Stroud. Texans do. Not worried about next year. Still finishing up this year. All right. Housekeeping. I don't have very many stickers left. I've got very limited stickers left. If you want some stickers, I've got very limited stickers left. Like I'm talking like maybe a handful. I've sent the bat signal out a couple of times about the stickers. So if you're late to the game, that's on you. Got very limited stickers left. If you want stickers, send me an email with your address, and I will mail you the stickers. No cost. You buy a hat. Obviously, I'll send you the hat. I'll send you some stickers with the hat too. Okay? I'll send you some stickers with the hat too. Houston football. www.houfootball.com. Links in the description down below. It's where I do all my writing about the team. If you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe if you like reading. If you don't like reading, I certainly understand that. The free subscription from your spam email that you use for spam mail, that helps too. Certainly appreciate that. $7 a month. If you buy a year ahead of time, I'll give you 2 months for free. Okay? And we're going to do some awesome stuff on Houston football. Some awesome stuff. So if you're not subscribed to that, check it out. If you want a free week, email me. Okay? You want a free week, email me. I'll send you a free week. Of all the weeks for you to get a free week, if you want a free week, email me. If you want a sticker, email me. If you buy a hat, I'll send you stickers. You can buy a hat in the link in the description down below. What am I missing here? What am I missing? Am I missing anything? This is my email, by the way. This is my email, by the way. Have you seen the new jerseys? No, I have not. I know a little bit about them, but I have not seen them. Let's see them. Watch party at J-Bar M. Ooh. Little afternoon football on Monday at J-Bar M. Well, afternoon football on Monday at J-Bar M? Maybe. If that's the case, I'll send the bat signal out at Cody Stoots on Twitter at Cody_Stoots. All right, there's the housekeeping. We're all done. Live stream, if you want the full, long, just hanging out version, you got that. You got the 4 big takeaways on the YouTube channel as well. Fire that up. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. You guys make this so much fun. I very much enjoy hanging out, talking Texans, and recapping these games. We've recapped some losses. These wins are so fun. Love everybody jumping in the comment section. I appreciate you. The support, the likes, the follows, the thumbs up, the subscribes, all that. Thank you all so much. You make this an incredible thing for me. It's an incredible opportunity for me, and I have so much fun doing it. We end the live stream the same way each and every time. This is my charge for you. This is my hope for you as well. I want you to eat good, sleep good, be good. And I can't wait till we talk Texans again soon.